The Honda Accord is now 50 years old, and here's the innovation of every generation in how we went from this to this. The first generation Accord was only available as a 3-door hatchback, but the significance is because this car has a CVCC engine, this thing was getting 40 miles per gallon during an oil crisis, while domestics were getting like 10. The second generation Accord was the first car by a Japanese automaker to be produced in America, and under the hood this had a 1.8 liter CVCC engine that eventually cracked 100 horsepower. The third generation was much sportier with this low hood. It also had some cool pop-up headlights, and this came with a double wishbone suspension in the front and the back, which was a first for a front-wheel drive car, and also this was the first Accord to become the best-selling car in America. The fourth generation Accord was bigger, even though by today's standard this car seems tiny. However, around this time the Accord was basically a household name, and this generation went on to become the best-selling car in America 3 years in a row. The fifth generation Accord got VTEC for the first time to improve performance and efficiency, and also for the first time you could get one of these with a V6, which really stepped up the Accord's game. The sixth generation Accord was completely redesigned with a new engine and chassis, but interestingly, this was the generation of Accord where there was a huge difference in design between the sedan that you see here versus the coupe, which had those NSX taillights. The seventh generation introduced the world's first V6 hybrid system. You could also get an Accord coupe like this with a 6-speed manual, but this was the last Accord that you can get in sedan form with a V6 and a manual transmission. The eighth generation Accord was bigger, more luxurious. It introduced modern safety equipment, and this went on to be the last Accord to be the best-selling car in America, but it was also the last Accord to have a conventional automatic versus a CVT. The ninth generation Accord was the first to carry Honda's modern 2-motor hybrid system, but this was also the last Accord to have a V6 and be available as a coupe. This 10th generation Accord was the first to introduce turbocharged engines for the Accord, and under the hood of this one is a 2-liter turbo, which is the same engine from the Civic Type R, just detuned, and you could get this car with a manual transmission, making it really fun to drive. And finally, the 11th generation Accord, which is the biggest Accord yet and is the first new car I ever reviewed, and while you can still get one of these for under 30 grand as that example is there, sadly this is the only modern Accord that doesn't have a high output engine under the hood.